The Hamilton Khaki Field is one of the most popular field watches on the market right now, or at least that's my opinion. Now, even with a quartz movement, that is a $500 watch. It's not unaffordable, but for a lot of people, it's still a lot of money to spend on one singular piece. And that's probably why we have so many alternatives on the market. But I personally think I have just found the best budget alternative you can pick up, and it is only $40. That's right, less than a tenth of the price. The website for this one is linked in the description if you're interested. My name is Jason, I'm your watch guy today. Let's have a look at it. I'm going to start by saying for $40, this watch has no right to be as good as it is. The specifications are well above anything we would expect for this type of price. It definitely has that Hamilton Khaki vibe through and through, but they've applied a little bit more military aesthetic to it with that British broad arrow at the 12 o'clock. The setup I have today actually has a Swiss quartz movement in it. It is the Ronda 515 movement. Now, a caveat to that, it is available with other movements. If you pick it up in the date window, you will get the Swiss Ronda 515. Otherwise, it can come with a VH31 and another option I can't really remember. Now, this does mean that you get the full tick aesthetic, no sweeping mecha quartz movements here, but for this type of price, I have no complaints. The whole casing has a sandblasted finish to it throughout, and it subdues that type of look, and it's the way to go for this style in my opinion. I think the military aesthetic really does call for it. It's simple yet effective. The highlights here for me are definitely the crystal and the crown. The crown is much bulkier than average, as you would find on the Hamilton. It has a good level of grip and it's screwed into the case. Secondly, the crystal has a nice little dome to it and it is also sapphire. Again, not what I expect at this price point. It's also packing a pretty satisfying water resistance with 100 meters. As I said, for that type of price, this has no right to have such good specifications. The dial is the classic military field aesthetic with the dominant 12-hour markings on the outer edge, and inside that we have the 24-hour markers. I think what's really special about this piece is how simple the overall design is, yet how much that achieves for the overall look. Yes, it has more markings than the average freehand piece, but that minute track, the hour markers and the index markers are all printed to the dial. This doesn't need any fancy applied markers. It doesn't need a fancy print to the dial. The idea of a military piece is simplicity and functionality, and the most extravagant that this actually gets is the date window at 3 o'clock. The triangular hour markers throughout this dial are printed in an aged loom effect, and that follows through into the loom on the handset. The syringe style handset has a white border to it, and that really helps to highlight those hands against the dial. The ticking second hand has a arrowhead tip, definitely the style I would go for, and it's nice to see the little lollipop counterbalance too. Again, as elaborate as this piece gets. Now, I know what you're expecting from this loom shot, and I'm going to tell you now, it's not one that's going to light your bedroom up overnight. That being said, this is much better than I expected. The application to it, the actual glow, definitely well above the $40 price range. It's not Seiko or Swiss level for the price. I seriously have no complaints about it at all. Markers are loomed, handsets loomed. It does well, that's all I need. The simplicity of this piece follows through into the NATO style band. This one's really easy to switch in and out due to the drilled lugs on the case. It's a very utilitarian type of choice. The watch itself sits really well on the wrist, and that was to be expected with the 38mm diameter. And obviously the 47.5mm lug to lug isn't the smallest in the world, but it definitely works. Again, this watch just needed to be comfortable to wear, and that's exactly what Militado have achieved with it. Now, I haven't touched much on the band itself, and that's because it is included in my moan section. I say moan section, let's remember, this is $40. I have had to be very pedantic here. The NATO style band is definitely one of the cheaper ones that you would pick up. Definitely that AliExpress, really low price type of quality, but it works, it does its job. The crown is not signed. I would have liked to have seen a signature. Again, it gives you that parts bin type of feel, but again, $40. My final moan does include the quality of the dial. Now, as I said, fantastic throughout. There's a little tiny nick on one of the minute markers for my piece. I don't expect that to be throughout the entire production, but something that I have to mention as this is the watch that I have received. Now, with those moans out of the way, I've got to say this is an absolute bargain. When you think about it, what is $40 in the watch world? I need to spend more than that to get to my next watch show. And beyond that, I'll probably spend more buying myself a couple of beers throughout the day and maybe a sausage roll or something from Greg's. If you want a cheap field watch, I don't think you have to look any further, especially when you consider sapphire crystal, 100 meters of water resistance and a Swiss movement. If you want to pick this one up, it's linked in the description. They have a coupon code for $8 off that will bring it down to $40 as I quoted. Probably the best bargain you'll pick up this month. Thanks for watching today, guys. This is exactly what I've come to expect from Militado. Bargain watchers that do what they should and do what they say on the tin. I didn't even mention the ticking second hand actually hits pretty much all of the markers on this one, which is again a step up on what you'd expect at this type of price. Remember, if you want more watch content like this, you should hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to find me on any other social media, I'm under the exact same name. Instagram, TikTok, you can have a video every day if you want. I will see you in the next one.